Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the STG Guard. It's a Tier 8 Russian premium medium tank. It's located on the south spawn of Steps Encounter under the command of FiliPer1n0. Well, this is a medium tank with a very big gun. It's the 122mm gun, which means that this tank's got a 390 alpha. It's one of the highest alphas for a Tier 8 medium. And you can see he's got 2 marks of excellence on the barrel of the gun already. He's headed to encounter any heavy tanks that decide to come down here and give a bit of trouble. It's a rear mounted turret, which means the crew have actually got quite a bit of protection, seeing as they've got the engine and the gearbox in front of them, and a very tough cast turret. This was a design that was made in 1949. Nice, his first shot hits the ARL 44-402, which is a high roll. Now the design was actually discontinued at the design stage, so no prototypes were actually made, but it was just as much a valid idea, mainly because there are other tanks actually that we've come across which also have rear mounted, and he pulled back correctly. For good reason, because there is an enemy Arty, and the enemy Arty is a Hummel. He just lobbed a shell in this direction. I suspect that he might have the stock gun. It's very difficult to get a shot in this direction. He's got a 110 and a VK, and he's definitely not going to get spotted by them. They're firing in this direction purely on the basis that somebody fired at them from this way. They can't see him, but they are definitely... he's definitely able to get damage on them. He's actually reverse side scraping, you might say, when he does that, because he's actually coming out rear with his rear facing, but he's very well angled to make the most use of his armor and also his ability to run for cover if he needs to by going forward. Top speed forward is 50 kilometers an hour, rearward is 20. 110 takes around at 355. That means that FiliPer1n0 is already up to 2k of damage, and the game's only been going less than 3 minutes. Another shot into the VK was seen this time, and yes, he did take a 75mm round from the VK, but he's going to try and put another round into him. Yep, gets that one, but he took another round from a Panther for 269. So yeah, 2 rounds from the Panther actually in total. Now the good thing about this tank is it does have the highest tier 8 alpha, but it does have good accuracy and strong frontal armor, but it has very poor DPM. The average reload by the book is 12.46, but I think you can see that FiliPer1n0's managed to drop that to 10.5, but it's still a very low DPM. He is using premium consumables, but that's because FiliPer1n0 is a very good player, and he knows that if he wants to maximize damage, you need to use premium consumables because it absolutely maxes your fire rate and your accuracy. Gets the Super Hellcat, who was sitting there on the corner not paying attention. The VK's next, and he will go down, and look at that long reload. Yeah, he just went straight through the mantlet. There was no way that even a Panther mantlet would stop that, but it was a VK mantlet. Of course, you know, the VK was the precursor to the Panther. Not quite as good as, but, well, a lot of people like the VK. Oh, we found the enemy Arty, the Hummel. We can only just see the top, and I do think he's got the stock gun now, because he did manage to lob that round only a short distance away, and he did stun us. But he only got 58 hit points of damage, and I think the Hummel's going to die to one of our teammates. If he doesn't, we'll get him. Mr. Panther takes a round for 404, which is a high roll. Okay, we now can take out the Hummel, but instead he's going to take out or put a round into the Panther. Makes him a one-shot. Now he's going to go after the Hummel. Okay, lock on. This is going to be a kill shot. It is a stock gun. He's got the Hummel, now he can... oh, in fact, the Panther has been taken down by the KB5. So there's only 4 enemy tanks remaining, and you can see by the way he's driving up on top of the embankment of the railway line that really he's got no fear of the enemy whatsoever. If they do throw something in his direction, it's either going to bounce or he's going to be able to fire something back which they'll regret. The Skoda T25 didn't want to stick around even with his 75mm gun and his autoloader, because he knows that he could take severe damage, and with his armour he's not going to be able to stop these 122mm rounds. And even the AMX1375 can only track him, he can't pen him. He just hasn't got the power, no pen. And the AMX1375 is running away. Well, yeah, FiliPer1n0 tries but doesn't get that one on target. Now, is he going to go down into the dip? No, he's not actually. He's going to stay up. And that does make him vulnerable to any guy from the south who can see him. But I don't think the enemy really has got... Oh, they do. There's the Skoda. And there's the T28. Oh, he does take a round. In fact, actually, he took a fire shot there because I think his fire extinguisher... Did his fire extinguisher go off? No, he doesn't have a fire extinguisher, does he? It was only one hit, so no fire extinguisher went off, but the T28's got to be his worst opponent. He does get a lovely big hit into the Skoda, but it's a low roll. So I think that T28 is the one that he's got to fear, and I think that may be the reason why he's decided to pull back for the moment, because that guy can actually hurt him. I did for a second think that there was nothing the enemy had that could actually do any damage to him, but yes, there is. The T28 can do a fair amount of damage. He does have a 120mm gun, which is capable of doing 400 alpha, and he got a high roll of 402. Now, the T44 is near the cap, but not in it. They're not capping because, of course, they know full well there's no point. The scores have balanced up a bit. The last 4 enemies have managed to make something out of the fact that they are losing badly. They only got 1,465 or 59 hit points rather, I should say. And they've just lost their Skoda. The T44-100 is a one-shot. The T28 is the closest to us, but if we can get behind him, he can't hurt us because it's only the pointy end that really counts, and he gets 1 round in. And he just sits behind the T28. I think he's almost wagging. The T44 knows that his teammate's in trouble, but he's going to die, and he does. And now all that FiliPer1n0 needs to do is get behind this guy, and even his own Arty is helping. Here we go. Kill shot. And there's only one left now. It's the AMX1375, and we already know that he can't do any damage. Not really, just track FiliPer1n0 if he wants. That's about all he can do. He'd have to be very lucky to get a pen shot. Either that or he'd have to use APCR, but he's out the game with 1 shot. And that gives FiliPer1n0 a top gun and potentially a high caliber as well. Here's the end of battle results, and that was an ace tanker game in the STG Guard for FiliPer1n0. He managed to get a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 5 exactly. A hand of gold for surviving the battle, having received damage from 4 different enemies or more. A duelist for taking down 2 tanks who damaged him. A 5 for effect for doing more damage than the hit points to his own vehicle. He got a brothers in arms in that game. Yes, he platooned with somebody else, and they both managed to get at least 3 kills apiece and survived. The Steel Wolf for blocking the most damage in the game, a high caliber for dealing the most damage in the game, and finally a top gun for getting 6 kills, the last tank being his 6th kill, the AMX1375. Let's have a look at team score. Well, he's easily at the top of the table with 5,784 hit points. The nearest player to him has less than half his hit points, and that was the T28 with 2,680, and some of that belonged to FiliPer1n0. The other one was the Panther, who had 2,114. When it came to kills, yep, FiliPer1n0 again, 6 kills for him, 4 kills for the KV5, that was his platoon mate, and 3 kills to the AMX1375, the M4A1 FL10. And when it came to base XP, yep, he's got the top on that one as well. Top in all 3 columns. 1,601 to FiliPer1n0, 1,009 went to the KV5, And the next highest one after that was the T-34, and he only had 684. So 2 players dominated this game, the KV5 and FiliPer1n0 in his STG Guard. He fired 24 rounds in that game, got 18 direct hits and 18 penetrations. Some of the shots he fired were a bit speculative. He didn't get them on target. The ones like the Hummel and trying to get that AMX-75 when he was running away. That's understandable. So, yeah, sometimes you fire a few rounds and you don't get pens. But he did make the best use of the shells that he did hit the target with. 5,784 hit points of damage, of which 773 were at more than 300 meters. Received 11 shots from the enemy, 6 penetrations, 5 non-penetrations, 1 hit by way of splash damage, and he blocked damage of 660 hit points in total. 3 enemy vehicles spotted, 11 enemy vehicles damaged, 6 killed, and 500 hit points of spotting assist, I think that was. 102,285 credits on a premium account, 76,714 from personal reserve bonus, and 46,028 from battle payments, a total of 276,170 credits altogether. That's pretty big for a battle only lasting 8 minutes. And after repair, ammunition, resupply, and consumables, he actually took away a profit of 193,958 credits. 1,601 XP, 240 for this being a premium vehicle, 2,642 experience points altogether. Yep, the STG Guard is quite an interesting tank. Not a lot of people play it. It is a premium tank. I guess the feeling they just miss it because it's actually quite good. It's a bit slow, but as a medium, it's not exactly fast, but it does have that really powerful gun. And of course the long reload, but it is very effective. You can buy it for bonds in the bond store if you wanted to, and or even for gold, I think, actually, as well. But it is an unusual tank, and I think both times we've seen it on this channel, because it has it did feature recently. I think RNG is my B and Itch. He actually did the play the STG Guard on Redshire, I think, if you remember. And he effectively sniped at the enemy with that 122 and was actually racking up a lot of damage with this vehicle. So it is quite good and should be respected. If you ever do come across one of these, yeah, try and put him out of action if you can by emptying your shells into the sides, or go for the thin upper front plate, which of course might knock out his engine, but because it's the engine and transmission that's there. But you won't take out the crew because of that turret. You have to get the rear of the vehicle if you want to take out the crew. Very difficult to kill the crew in this one. But yes, it's a good little tank. I hope you enjoyed that replay. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And please do remember to let people know that not only do we exist as What Arty Noobs, we do feature tank replays, quite a lot of them, and of course we've got a sister channel called The General where you can watch replays without any commentary to distract you whatsoever, but they're normally absolutely humdingers of games, really great games, lots of kills, and well worth watching. Thanks for watching this one.